All things considered, Mortal Kombat 1 is still brand new, but that's not going to stop the people involved with it from hyping up the sequel or the sequels, as they've already dropped some hints and story details from Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 and what we can expect. I will say I myself 100% agree with the people that said, wait a second, you're making a Mortal Kombat movie, but you decided not to put the tournament in the actual Mortal Kombat movie. Why? That's a dumb decision. I 100% agree with that. Well, recently, Greg Russo, one of the writers of the film, was asked about the upcoming sequels and, what happens with them, and specifically about that whole tournament kerfuffle, let's call it that. And he says that you can't just put it in the first film because you have to focus on something else right now, and that we are going to see a proper tournament play out eventually, but that's sort of tied into the whole Johnny Cage thing, where at the end we got that teaser for Johnny Cage, and that's going to bring us to the sequel. The sequel will play out more traditionally, as he said, because they wanted to go in somewhat of a different direction and establish a different world, lore, and basis for what this world of Mortal Kombat is. Which, I can respect that, but at the same time I question, why didn't you then maybe sell it as a prequel to the tournament? Tell people, hey, yes, this is like a pre-establishing movie. The sequel, we'll get to the tournament, but this is what happens to get us to the tournament. That's a, legit battle with rules, because the first film isn't about the rules. I think that could have been a little bit more, unhinged, sort of, to let expect the unexpected in this. And I think people would have taken the film a little bit better knowing that, had they gone into it knowing that that's what we're getting. Teasing the tournament and Johnny Cage for the sequel is great, and then going past the tournament in Mortal Kombat 3 is even better. But it feels like they sort of got some of the messaging and, how they presented this a little off, if you will. And one thing Greg did say is that you don't want to paint yourself into a corner because you only have 2 hours, and putting a tournament in there would have painted you in a corner, so you don't really know where you can go next. But not doing a tournament gave them the ability to know where to go next. Well, I mean, yes, but that still doesn't excuse some of the poor pacing which many people, even people that like the movie like myself, have had. I mean, you don't want to paint yourself into a corner as somebody that's not pre-planning. At least they kind of had an idea of what they're setting out to do, but I think they sort of missed the mark on how to explain what comes next.